I was gonna do this whole thing where I straighten my hair and put on a little bit of makeup because I thought that maybe a little bit extra would have been nice. And then as I'm blow drying my hair, I can't keep my arm up for longer than about 20 seconds. And then I realized trying to do anything like brows or mascara or straighten my hair, anything like that, probably wasn't a good idea. But I really wanted to. For me, this is a special video. So I have had multiple sclerosis. You know what? I'm going to put this actually on airplane mode so that I don't get like any calls or anything like that. I've had multiple sclerosis since I was 16 years old. I didn't tell anyone because it's a trauma response to not talk about the big things, I guess. That's a whole other story. But I didn't tell anyone because I thought everybody's ankles went numb and I wrote it off, thinking nobody would believe me anyway. I had an attack when I was 16. I had double vision. And it's like this. It's like this, and then like that, and then like that. But they didn't catch it. And then when I was 21, at my first term of university, right when I was like, okay, I'm going to start to get my life together now. I have a sorted childhood and teenagerhood. So I was like, okay, it's going to happen now. I'm going to get it together. And during my first term of university, I was diagnosed with MS. I didn't know what it was. I thought I was going to die. I just knew that it was really bad. So I did multiple treatments. I did interferon, which is a regular injection, like 3 times a week or something. Didn't stop it from getting worse. Then I did Tecfidera pills. Also didn't stop the disease from progressing. So in 2015, in the winter, which is ironic, because I think it was December 22nd, 2012 was the day I was diagnosed officially. And maybe I was 21 and I did chemo. Maybe 6 years later, almost to the exact day, was when my doctor told me my neurologist told me I need to do chemotherapy to stop this disease from progressing, and that was hard. It's called Lemtrada. Alemtuzumab is the clinical name. Lemtrada is the nickname. It's a kind of chemotherapy that completely eradicates your existing immune system, killing off all of the damaged white blood cells that are attacking your brain and spinal cord. My brain and spinal cord. And the goal is to grow new white blood cells that are not damaged and will not attack your body. And it worked. So I did the first round 5 days, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. I got an IV drip, 5 days. The second year, same time, but 3 days. And then I was in remission for 7 years. I took some of that for granted, admittedly. A year after the second round of chemotherapy, almost to the day, I got diagnosed with thyroid dysfunction, which is one of the 3 illnesses they said I could get. Kidney failure, lymphoma or leukemia, and thyroid. So I was like, okay. I thought that I was going to have more time before whatever is going to happen next. Before whatever was going to happen next was going to, you know what I mean? That was devastating. I got several other medical illnesses. Whether or not that's because of the chemo, I don't know, but I have them. I'm not here to talk about those. But endocrinological, neurological, gastroenterological, hormonal, bladder, psychological. This is traumatic. So in winter of 2022, my medical team was advising I remove my thyroid because of a very long battle with it. I didn't have a goiter, so I did nuclear medicine, which was radioactive iodine therapy drinking nuclear, drinking radioactive. It was scary. Came out like a concrete thing. Everybody was all suited, roped up and shit. It was scary. Now, for a month after that, I was doing okay. My thyroid test came back normal. So what happened was my entire thyroid is toast. It's gone. I'll be on Synthroid for the rest of my fucking life. My result came back normal, the first test, and I thought, amazing. The drug killed just the right amount of my thyroid that I don't need Synthroid. That's the best case scenario, is that it just, like, it neutralizes it. That's what it is. It neutralizes your thyroid so that you don't need medications and everything's good. However, I got a series of, symptoms that were debilitating. But because I have all these other illnesses like multiple sclerosis, my team, especially my neurologist, just kind of wrote it off and was like, oh, I guess you're just having a small flare-up. It was not MS. Your thyroid levels, so your TSH levels, without talking about T3 or T4, your TSH, that's the main one to look out for. That starts at 0.37 and should end at 5.4. Anything below 0.37 is hyperthyroidism, which is when your brain is telling your thyroid that it's producing too much, and so your thyroid responds by giving less. It's a neurofeedback that's rather complicated. And that's when you get like the hot flashes, the cold sweats, the headaches, the irritability, the endless amounts of energy. I've had that. I had that for years. And then hypothyroidism is when your body is telling your brain, your thyroid's telling your brain, your body's telling your thyroid that it's not getting enough thyroid. And so your thyroid tells your brain, and then your brain tells you something like that, your thyroid, to overproduce the hormone because your body is telling your brain that you're not getting enough. That should end at 5.4. By the end of May 2023, my TSH was at 193. I don't know how I didn't end up in the hospital. For 5 to 6 months, I couldn't walk without help. I couldn't eat. I couldn't shower. I couldn't use a restroom. I couldn't get in and out of bed. I couldn't do literally anything without help. I was sleeping 16 hours a day, spending the rest of the time on the couch crying. I was like that for like 6 months. I was a bodybuilder for a decade. I've had bad bouts of MS. I've been through some stuff, but that was humbling. Because every time before that, I'd be like, oh, I'm getting a flare-up. This is the worst. Oh my God. Oh, what am I going to do? But this was humbling. Humbling is the best way that I can explain what I went through during the summer of 2023 while trying to pursue a career. Life doesn't stop because you're sick. That career's definitely on pause now. That's a whole other story. So, it took a year. My body was not taking the Synthroid. It was not taking the drug. It took a year of going down. And then at one point, I did a test. So you can only test your TSH level like every 6 weeks after a medication adjustment, because that's how long it takes for your body to recognize what's going on, right? And I tested it early. And it was down. But then I think with the second test, it shot right back up. And I'm like, what's going on? That was frightening. So I was like, what does this mean for my body? And what are we going to do? So, I want to say April. By the end of April 2024, my fight with my TSH levels finally ended and I was in the normal range. And I was like, oh, I can take a breath. I still had all the symptoms, by the way, both hyperthyroid symptoms and hypothyroid symptoms. I haven't been to the gym a single day in over a year. I've done a little bit of kinesiology. I got up to 2 pounds the other day. That was exciting because that was the heaviest I had lifted in a year. And that makes me sad. But I gotta try to find a way to be happy for those moments anyway. And so I thought, okay. My TSH is normal. Now it's just a matter of, hoping the DHEA, which is a hormone that your body produces that should help with muscle weakness and fatigue. I just gotta wait for that to work, and I gotta wait for my body to recognize that the TSH levels are normal. I was excited. And then, as soon as my TSH level was normal, the next thing happened. Immediately, my body, it just gave up. It just gave up. And the worst attack of MS I have ever had happen. And it was that was the scariest thing. I couldn't walk. My legs were so weak and shaky, I couldn't walk. I couldn't take a step without help. That has never happened. That has never happened to me before. I couldn't use my arms. They were too weak to lift above my head. And my fingers, they were too stiff. I couldn't do this. I couldn't grip anything. I couldn't eat. I couldn't use the utensils. I was too weak to lift the food to my mouth or drink from a cup of water. And I was back to the summer of 2023, but worse. And I know what you're thinking. How could the summer of 2023 be worse than what you're going through right now? Because that sounds kind of worse. The difference is, with the thyroid, what I was experiencing from those symptoms, I knew that eventually it would likely come to an end with the medication, and I just had to suffer through. However, MS is a different beast, because you don't know when it's going to end, and you don't know whether or not it's going to get worse. This disease is incredibly unpredictable. You don't know. Especially when you're having an attack that bad. Usually, it might get a lot worse. Thankfully, it didn't. I got 2 rounds of methylprednisone IV treatment. 1 gram, 3 days back to back. One weekend and then again the next weekend. And that brought my legs back to me. Luckily. I went to the ER, and then I told my neurologist. She set me up again with steroids. That's a fucking brutal treatment. That's rough, man. It's right. You would think you'd feel great because you got all these powerful steroids on deck, but no. This is the opposite. Recovery from that, it's rough, okay? So in between the hospital and then the second round of the steroids, I think somewhere in there, it's all mushed together. I got a contrast MRI of my C-spine. Just because the neurologist at the ER, like the on-call neurologist at the ER, was like, okay, test it, just see what's going on. And that's how I found out. I thought it was just a flare-up. Actually, one morning, a nurse from my neurology team called me and told me, as if I already knew. What a way to wake up. So, my career came to an abrupt stop. My TSH laid me out. My MS is out of remission, and it's like all of my worst fucking fears are happening simultaneously, if not in conjunction with one another. And it's a lot. It's a lot. It's just a lot. That's really the only way to explain it. So that leads me to right now. I gotta do Limtrada again. I gotta do chemo again, which is gonna fuck me up for the rest of this year. And at this point, I don't even know if I can do the career that I pursued while struggling with my thyroid, just because that career, which I won't share right here, that's a different story. That career is a fairly high stress career. And so I'm like, can my body keep up with that career? Should I just give up and find something else? I don't know. That's a terrifying thought. I worked my ass off for that career. And my whole life has just come to a very abrupt stop. So I gotta do chemo again. Hopefully that will be in a few weeks. The sooner the better, because until then, literally anything can happen. The way that MS affects your body is like eating, seeing, using the restroom, walking, just literally every single function of your body is impacted by this illness because it travels through your brain and through your spinal cord. I could wake up tomorrow and be a paraplegic. I could get up and go to the bathroom right now and fall down. Literally anything can happen. It's a terrifying illness. The likelihood of that happening, I don't know. It's a terrifying illness. That's all that I know. Nearly 20 years I've had it. So, to the main point of this video. This treatment is intense. Along with all the symptoms I still have from my thyroid, the recovery from this, it takes a year, but you have to be like locked up for like 3 months because your immune system is dead, right? So you have to stay safe. I'm going to need someone to take care of me. I'm not going to be able to cook, clean, eat, get out of bed, get into bed without help walk. I'll be back in that place where I'm 100% able. I can't do anything. So I'll need help around the clock. I don't want to call a home nurse just simply because I'm going to need help with some really intimate things. And I'm not saying this is a universal experience. Absolutely not. This is just my own personal experience. That would be humiliating. It's already humiliating enough for me, the fact that I need all of this help just because I've lived such an active life, and now it's just gone. It's just gone. So the fact that I need that help, and again, I'm not saying this is a universal thing. I'm not saying everybody with this illness or everybody with an illness like this goes through these feelings. It's just my own personal experience. And so I need someone that I know, someone that I trust to help take care of me. I have someone who can do that. I'm going to refer to them as them, just simply because they want to protect their privacy. And I feel the same. They're autonomous. And that autonomous? Anonymity? You know what I'm talking about. They're going to have to miss, like, at least 2 weeks of work, maybe 3. They can't afford to do that. And I need help. I have no one else. I have no siblings. I have no relatives. I have no parents to take care of me. This is the only person. So, I have started a GoFundMe account to help raise the money. I put it at $2,500. I don't want a shit ton of money. That's not what this is about. I'm just hoping for enough so that they can take that time off of work to help me recover, because the recovery from this treatment is the most important part. So I'm hoping that you'll check out the link down below in the description section. And if you can't give, that's totally okay. But if you could pass on this information to someone else, share the video, share the GoFundMe account that I have up, that would mean the world to me. I just literally, even if it's just a penny, I don't give a shit. Anything. You wouldn't just be helping them. You'd be helping me. And you wouldn't just be helping me. You'd be helping me recover and hopefully get back to a normal life. So, thank you for watching. And if you visit the page, thank you for visiting.